This is the HaltingWinter Podcast. My name is Seth Winterhalter. Thanks for tuning in today. HaltingWinter is here to help people like you with the dream of building or launching a business. We want to help you accomplish that dream, and we want to help you accomplish it with energy, with fun, with delight. Owning a business is difficult. In fact, today's podcast, we're going to look at some of the stark realities when it comes to business ownership. There is a lot of failure in business ownership. In fact, according to the article we're going to look at today, it says 20% of small businesses fail by the end of their first year. 20%, 1 in 5 will fail. By the end of the 5th year, 50% go under. By the 10th year, that number rises to 80%. Those are hard to hear if you're a person with a dream to launch or build and grow your business. And so we want to come alongside and help. How do we do that? We have a 6-part framework that we come alongside. It's the Business Made Simple framework. Maybe you're familiar with Donald Miller and Business Made Simple. HaltingWinter uses that same framework, but we have some other tweaks that we've learned along the way. I've been in nonprofits and in business ownership for 20 years and have learned some things along the way that I think will help you, both encourage you and help you learn from some of the failures that you're encountering, some of the frustrations that you're experiencing. We want to help give that shape, because there's a way that if you have a good product, even if you have a product, we can help you make that good. We can help that product get in the hands of the right people, the people that it will solve their problem. And that's what really we're going to talk about. I'm going to take the next, 9. Here's the reality. Today, we are going to look at small business challenges. And in fact, we're going to just do a 9-part series. These are going to be shorter podcasts. So as you tune in throughout the week, I'd like to launch a podcast every day. We'll see if I can keep up with the editing and everything. But 9 podcasts, because I found an article. It's on HubSpot. It's written by Lindsay Cox, and she wrote this actually 2 years ago. She wrote it in June 28th of 21, but she updated it last year, July 26th of 22, and now I'm going to do my own little update to it and see how we might learn. She has here 9 problems, the 9 most common small business problems. And so I thought, well, let's look at these problems and let's see what maybe I have to say. Let's see how HaltingWinter would approach if you came to us and said, man, this is our problem. Then let's go through those. So let me just go through the 9 and see if any of these are interesting to you. Number 1, the one we'll jump in today, is finding customers. Our problem is we don't know how to find customers. Number 2, increasing brand awareness. Number 3, building an email list. How do you actually curate people that are interested and keep them attuned to what's going on? Number 4, lead generation. Number 5, delighting customers. Man, that's one that I think a lot of businesses could do a better job of harvesting more ownership, more purchase power from the people they already have, the people that are already fans of theirs. Number 6, hiring talented people. Number 7, managing workflow. Number 8, financial planning, cash flow. Man, that's a big deal. Number 9, scaling. Maybe that's where you are. You're making. I work probably the most common small business person I work with is making a decent living. They're just grinding. They're making a decent living. They're comfortable. They're just like, man, I can't continue at this pace though. I'm doing everything. And I see that I have a good product. We deliver a great product, a great service. I'm just overwhelmed because I'm doing everything. Everything relies on me. And that is the reality of the vast majority of businesses that actually make it past the first year. It's because the owner is just, is awesome. Is awesome at doing a lot of things. They usually have a specialty that they just kill it at, but they're able to just pick up a lot of slack. They're able to be a generalist, but that strength is also your greatest weakness because you are in the way of actually building and scaling your company. And so it's nice to have someone come alongside, reinforce your strengths. I think that's the weakness is you can feel like a failure. Man, if I give this up, am I failing? Who would I give this up to? Who would I trust? It's nice to have someone to come in, tell you kind of what you already know, maybe give you some insights on some things that you don't know, but then say, how do we help you actually enjoy your work by putting you in that owner's seat that's more specialized? Man, let's get stuff off your plate so you enjoy coming to work, so you're not dealing with those things that are sucking the life out of you and actually hurting your business because you shouldn't be doing them. They're not your strength. So anyway, jump down to number 9 already. But here we go. Let's jump into these. So the next 9 podcasts, today's will be number 1. The next 8 after this, we'll just fly through. There'll be short podcasts for you to hopefully digest over the next few weeks. So let me go back. As I mentioned, 20% of small businesses fail by the end of the first year. By the end of the 5th year, 50%. By the end of the 10th year, 80%. So I just want to say, if you're listening to this and you've been a small business owner for over 5 years, congratulations. Over 10 years, real congratulations. That's awesome. And if you're just starting out, just know that if you are in, maybe you're in a mastermind, maybe you're considered, maybe you know some other business owners and you're just seeing the struggle, there it is. That's the struggle. But it doesn't have to be that way, right? We can get clarity, we can get momentum, we can do the right things to help us continue to grow, continue to scale. So it's just a matter of learning and then applying, putting what you learn into action, sticking with it. Don't jump because it doesn't work in 2 weeks. Give it some time, give it some space. That's why coaching, I think, has helped me just personally. I have needed coaching specifically, even this last year. It's so applicable to me. I've needed coaching because it's so easy as a business owner to be like, man, it's not working. I need to generate cash now. I need something to do now. And you'll only give things a real short runway. We need to be more faithful to go, okay, how long do we need to give to this? And let's give it to that. And let's be faithful then to work the system, to work the framework, to actually see the results that come in. And that's just one thing that's hard with businesses too, is you're tight, right? Cash flow is tight and you can feel that pressure. But man, I just want to encourage you, make sure you have a good plan and then stick with the plan. Stick with the plan. So let's start. Number 1 today, finding customers. How do you find customers? Here's how I would approach that. The number 1 thing you can do before you actually go find them is you need to identify who your customers are. The number 1 mistake, I believe, businesses, nonprofits, doesn't matter. If you are an organization trying to win people to your mission, trying to get people to buy your products or your services, the number 1 thing that most people have not done is identify as clearly, as boiled down as possible who their target customer is. And let me tell you, so for instance, the church. I was in ministry for 20 years. I work with a lot of nonprofits, and I continually hear, I just had a conversation the other day. Easter's coming up. Who are you trying to reach for Easter? Everybody, man. We want everyone to be there. Listen, you're not a church for everyone. You're not a business for everyone. You're not a store for everyone. You're not a service for everyone. Oh, but I just want to help people. I'm in the mental health space. I just want to help everyone. I know you do, but the reality is you're not a good fit for everyone. You are not a savior. You're not Jesus. You're not whatever figure you think is perfect, right? You're not that. You're you, and you have specific strengths, but you also have specific weaknesses. And the sooner you can get that through your head, that there is a target of people that you will have the best results with. And who is that? The sooner you can identify the person that you can help the most, the more your message will be targeted to that person. So when they hear your targeting, they'll be like, that's me. Instead of this generic trying to fit everyone into your fishing net, so all the fish are like, it's kind of boring bait. If I'm fishing for a specific fish, I can finesse my bait. I can get the most perfect bait for that fish. But if I just want to catch any fish in the ocean, right? If you want to catch a flounder, or if you're just like, I'm going to catch any fish in the ocean. Oh, well, what are you going to use? Are you going to use flounder bait? You're going to use shark bait? You're going to use, some generic crab bait and just hope for the best? No, that's not going to win you. You're going to have a boring day with no bites. specific, figure out what fish am I fishing for specifically, not just in the family, not just like I want Ted the flounder. What is Ted like? What's Ted's appetites? How do I know Ted? Do I know where Ted hangs out? Do I know what Ted's interested in? Do I know Ted's rhythms and routines? Think about that. The more you can really know, not create your customer, but know your customer. Who is that person? What are their routines? Where do they hang out? What would get their attention? Right, when you fish, you're trying to get, what grabs their attention? What do they need? Shiny? Do they need, well, I'm not a fisherman, so I'm out of my league now. But right, you've got all kinds of atrumen on that line to get their attention and get them to that bait. It's the same thing. If you want to find a customer, articulate that customer as much as you can, and that will tell you then where to find them. For me, like I've got certain, for the men's group I run a program to help men become men, helping them take priority over themselves, their health, physical, mental, emotional health, so that then they can pour into their relationships, into their work in a really healthy, vibrant way. I had to articulate, where are those men hanging out? Where are the men? I started kind of like, oh, well, maybe they'll be in like health groups and bodybuilding groups, and there's some in there. But you know what? I found like these guys are already getting after it. These guys need a little bit of support. They probably don't need a group like this. Where are the guys? And so all of a sudden, I found specific groups on Facebook where these kind of guys were hanging out. And it's hard for me because, man, a lot of the posts from this group is woe is me. It's very victim mentality. Oh, what do I do? This happened, not taking responsibility. But that's what I'm like, so this annoys me and this frustrates me, and this is who I'm here for because these are the exact people I can help. They're in the spot where I would find guys and bring them out of this. Man, I found it. So again, for you might be fishing in the wrong pools. You might be fishing in pools where customers, maybe they don't need your product because they've already solved that problem. What is their problem? Where are they hanging out? Where would they be the most, where would their attention be the most heightened to go, yes, like I feel my problem, I need to solve it. Now all of a sudden we're starting to figure out where to find those customers because I've identified who the customer is. So anyway, I want to keep these short. So I hope that's helpful. Before you think about where do I go, think about who are you going to? Who does my customer look like? Man, frame that avatar and really think about what product or service am I trying to sell? What mission am I trying to compel them to be a part of? And how do I then really identify and articulate? And what you might do is then once you find that real person, you might go find that real person and be like, man, let's have a conversation. Articulate to me your problem. Articulate to me how that is, and that comes into them marketing. We'll probably go into that a little bit later in one of these. But like the more you can be real about the customer, don't just imagine it and don't just kind of like, I think sometimes a business will create a customer instead of going, does that person even really exist? Is this person real? Do they really hang out here? Or are we just assuming they hang out on Facebook or Instagram or chat rooms, wherever, or they hang out at, downtown at, the pub, or do they really try to get into the mind and the reality of your customer? And then you know exactly where to find them. Anyway, hope that was helpful. That's number one. Common small business problem number one, finding customers. And I would say before you find them, identify who they are. So then you'll know where to find them. Tune in next time as we go down the list of 9 common small business problems. If you need help with that, man, sometimes it's nice to be able to work through. We have an actual workshop where we help you identify who your customer is. We help you identify what your problem solves, what your product, what your service is. And we do a whole thing to help you really hone both your product and service and the customer that's going to speak to. So if we can help you with that, man, hit us up, HaltingWinter.com. Hit me up, Seth Winterhalter on the socials, and DM me and let's start a conversation. We'd love to do that with you. Until next time.